What's up, everybody? My name is Erin, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio, and welcome back to Lamplight City. Full disclosure, I restarted this case. I was hating myself. I was so devastated that we broke the boiler, and come to find out, we just had to look at it and then come back and talk to our beautiful, smart, amazing wife. Honey, how do we fix a boiler?
Addie, you wouldn't happen to have any manuals on repairing steam engines in your library, would you?
Thinking of changing careers?
No, there's just a boiler that needs repairing and I need to figure out how to do it.
A boiler? What kind of engine is it?
I'm not sure, but it had Whitney 200 embossed on the side.
Oh, of course. That's one of the most common steam engines around, used in practically everything. In fact, the player piano at the Firkin and Fryer had one, and that thing was always going out of alignment. If that's all that's happened with this one, I know how to fix it. Used to have to do it all the time.
Adelaide Fordham, you are just full of surprises.
Where is this boiler?
Not terribly far. It's a townhouse on St. Agnes in Livingston.
Let's go then. I could use some fresh air.
Oh, nice.
Not quite a player piano, but it shouldn't be too tough. Would you like me to walk you through it, or would you prefer I fix it myself?
I mean, I made it explode last time. I'm gonna let you handle it.
I think I'll let you handle it, dearest. Machine repair isn't my specialty.
All right, let me have a look. Just as I thought. It's out of alignment. This will only take a moment. There, just like the old days.
Thank you for your help, dear.
You're welcome. Boilers are a lot like people, you know. Let too much pressure build up inside them, and an explosion becomes inevitable. You do well to remember that, dearest. Now, I have to be getting to my appointment with Mrs. Lapone. See you tonight.
Thanks, Addie. Fantastic. Okay. And this also, I've been reminded, I can save this game at any time. Before I make another foolish decision, I need to remember safety saves.
Yes? What is it?
I fixed the boiler for you.
What?
Oh, and now we're taking
Are you
credit.
serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job than the people paid to do this sort of thing. I owe you, friend.
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure. I'm her landlord. I look after the place when she's gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
I'm a private detective, and it's of the utmost importance that I get that key from you.
Is that right? Is Mrs. Walker in trouble? Has she done something wrong?
I'm not entirely sure yet, which is why I need to take a look inside her apartment.
I see. Well, I wouldn't normally do this, but you did me a great service by fixing the boiler. I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
Oh, what a mess.
What in the ether?
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
Looks as though she definitely left in a
Still
hurry.
cleaner than my
I wonder
room.
if she planned on ever coming back.
I'll be waiting for you in the kitchen, Mr. Fordham. Just let me know when you're done looking around.
All these notes tacked up on the wall are a bit concerning.
That bit of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate.
Like they were hiding something back there.
Well, at least that painting cheers the place up a little bit.
What was that word?
It's a boy. Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old. If that's Linda's son, why would she leave this behind?
Good question.
Oh, she dashed. A daguerreotype. I know that word from Life is Strange.
I thought my apartment was messy. Torn apart. She took most everything. Well, it doesn't appear she had much to take. And the books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're clearly the best ones.
Bill, my man.
I don't know about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers.
Oh my god, Bill. Let's get over it. I'll get to it eventually.
There's a handwritten note here. Valerian mixed with chamomile. Sedative effects.
Ooh.
Deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
Have I? I hadn't noticed. Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes. A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her wages on it.
Okay, we could touch the wallpaper bulge now.
What do you know? She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
And she didn't take it with her? Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna do a voice. I'm gonna give her my Karen voice. April 5th. I don't believe it. Can it be true? At tonight's meeting, I struck up a conversation with Henrietta. Charles Harris was born on the day Alexander died, and he has blue eyes. I know I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but this is too perfect to be a fluke. To be sure, I need to find something of Alexander's appropriate for an infant. Maybe his old bear? April 20th. Charles loved Barney. Henrietta told me she's never seen him react with such joy to any of his other playthings. There's no doubt now in my mind, Charles Harris is the reincarnation of my beloved Alexander. At last we could be together again. At last I could see his forgiveness. I just need to find a way to take him from his false parents without getting dear Henrietta in trouble. Oh no, we called it, folks. We called it. Though we did blame Sophia Shaw because of the SS handkerchief, but it looks like Miss Linda Walker is the kidnapper. August 24th. I had the nightmare again last night. Alexander's cries of, "Why did you do it, mother?" were nearly too much to bear. When I have him again, I can finally explain that I couldn't do anything to stop him. Thomas was a monster, and I was at my wit's end. Dear Samuel had helped me so much, and there was no turning back once he had consumed the tainted pie. How was I to know Alexander's friend would take ill and he would arrive home early? Watching my boy share the poison meal with his father was the worst moment of my life. I must get him back. October 6th. Finally, after months of thinking, I have a plan. Samuel's instruction on the nature of plants has been the key. I will visit Henrietta tonight at the Harris residence and prepare everything. It must look as though a burglar entered the nursery in Taurus coat. In 2 nights, I'll have my baby again.
Well, this is pretty damn incriminating.
I'll say. Now we just need to figure out where she's gone, as well as how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
Oh, we've got you now, Linda. Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong. With Fordham and Legere on the
don't
case,
know where they are,
the
Bill.
only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy she was. I mean, really, she couldn't think to pick up a button? She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake? Huh? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You ought to be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this. I need to concentrate, and I can't hear myself think with you yapping away.
Right, sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Bill.
Right, not another peep. As you were.
I feel the same, Miles. Okay. So we still need to track down Linda Walker. That's our priority. Good thing. Okay, Linda's journal details her belief that Charles Harris is the reincarnation of her dead son, Alexander. She intends to kidnap the child and reclaim him as her own, and we kind of pieced that together after all the books we read. But we don't, because we haven't found her yet, we can't label her as a suspect. We don't have any documents, so we need to get out of here.
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your cooperation.
Now we need to go talk to Mrs. Davis again. Tell her what was slipped into her tea.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Mrs. Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply. I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying?
I believe Mrs. Walker used her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh, my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis, but don't worry. I'm doing everything I can to find her.
Oh, may the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, I'd say we have everything we need to prove it was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea and took the child. It would be ideal if we could find out where she's gone before reporting back to Upton, though.
Exactly. Okay, so we do have her as a suspect, but we have to find her. It's still in our... We have to track down Linda Walker. We have to find her.
I'll be going now, Mrs. Davis.
May the spirits guide your path.
You're actually going to dig through that mess? I sure hope it's worth it. A receipt with yesterday's date. One-way train ticket to Pierre in Lorraine. Departed this afternoon.
Thought she could get away easy, it seems. Well, I hate to disappoint her.
Is there time?
He and his friend are having quite the conversation. I bet it's really boring.
The election seems to be getting intense earlier than normal this time.
Oh, that's fun. You can stand next to people and hear what they say.
So, how's the
They're cutting our wages. The foreman told us all yesterday.
No, that's terrible. Why?
Because they're spending the extra money bringing in steam-powered machines. They say it's only temporary, but a lot of the others are saying they're getting ready to replace us.
So what are you gonna do?
What can I do? I'm lucky enough to have this job. I'm not about to leave it.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Should we wrap it up?
I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
Linda Walker.
It was Linda Walker,
Who is she?
a seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son, whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
You'll find a journal explaining her motive at her apartment, as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
Yes, I found a receipt for a one-way train ticket to Pierre, which departed this afternoon.
Fantastic. We can send a telegram to the train station and have her arrested upon arrival. You've done extremely well, Fordham. Snelling could only hope to have a detective as good as you again.
You flatter me.
Then I'd better stop before your head gets any bigger. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper channels and report your information as an anonymous tip. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Nice.
Welcome to Lorraine. An awfully cute baby you got there.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is my son, Alexander.
Alexander. That's a good name. Strong name.
Yes, thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I need to get to my hotel.
Of course. I won't keep you any longer, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Wait. How did you know my name?
I didn't. It was a lucky guess. But now, seeing as I know your name, allow me to tell you mine. I'm Sheriff Zeke Dollarhide. Linda Walker, you are under arrest for the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Surrender the child and come with me.
No, you've got it all wrong. This is my son. This is my Alexander.
Ma'am, please don't make this difficult. Come along to the station and we'll get this all sorted out.
Addie, are you home?
Still at her appointment, it would seem. You know, Miles, I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Why's that?
It's because you actually listened.
So does this mean you'll keep quiet until morning?
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say you were getting a reprieve.
Then I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
The Angel? But you haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Perhaps. It would be nice to see old Patrick again at the very least. Then it's settled. A drink or two at the Angel, for old time's sake.
I have to say, it's been a real pleasure having you back, Miles. I was worried about you.
I appreciate your concern, Patrick. The past few months have been a bit rough, but it's good to be back in familiar territory.
Miles, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Well, it may be none of my business, and you can feel free to tell me to stuff it.
Enough with the preamble, Patrick. Just ask.
I know you quit the force, but why are you still working as a private investigator? Why not leave all that detecting stuff behind?
I don't know how to do anything else. I'll go insane if I don't. No, I don't want to tell him to stuff. He sounds like a bro. I'll go insane if I don't.
It's just something I have to do. If I don't, I'll go crazy.
It's rare to meet someone so dedicated to their profession.
No, it's not that. It's something else. It's really not worth getting into.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just figured I'd ask. Now then, will you be wanting another drink?
I'm not sure. I've already had 2. I should probably be getting... Wait a minute. Patrick, do you hear something?
No, Miles. I don't hear anything.
Neither do I. Another gin, if you please.
Coming right up.
Oh, did we find another vice? Is that the guy? Is that Bill's killer?
I must have taken a wrong turn back there. Hopefully Addie won't hear me come in.
I don't want to talk to the shadowy figure, but maybe we'll scare him off if we try.
Excuse me, sir. Could you spare a shilling?
Here you are, my good man.
You always were willing to help the less fortunate, weren't you? But perhaps you should start thinking about helping yourself.
Who are you?
I beg your pardon?
Just look at yourself. I may be a beggar, but even I feel sorry for you.
What? Do I know you?
Do I know you from somewhere?
Yes, that's right. I'm your biggest failure.
What are you talking about?
Come now, Miles, you're not completely stupid.
I'm drunk.
You think finding and catching me is going to make things better?
I don't know. It might not, but at least I'll have closure.
Again with the lying to yourself. Let's say you do find me, and this grand chase finally ends. What do you do the next morning? You still have a dead partner, no real job. Your wife knows you've been keeping things from her. Even if you solve 100 cases, it won't relieve that empty feeling inside.
What's your point?
I'm all you've got, Miles. Once I'm gone, there'll be nothing left. So just admit it. You don't want to find me. Not really.
Damn. Oh, whoa.
Bad dreams?
You could say that.
That was triggering.
My head. How many drinks did I have last night?
You're asking the wrong person. I was out after the first one.
It seems Miss Maxwell was right about the effects of spirits. Go figure.
Yeah, well, let's not make a habit out of it, all right?
So, you're up at last.
Is something the matter, Addie?
Oh, I see. You don't remember last night, do you? I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Please tell me I didn't do anything stupid last night.
No, I wouldn't use the word stupid.
Oh, thank God.
Disgusting and shameful would be more appropriate, I think.
Oh. What did I do, exactly?
It was nearly 2 when you burst in here, soused to the eyeballs from God knows where. I imagine you've probably forgotten that, too. You were muttering something about peace and quiet and then proceeded to relieve yourself on my begonias before stumbling into bed.
Charming. I salute you, O Vice Admiral of the Narrow Seas.
Good God. How embarrassing. I'm so sorry, Addie. I don't know what came over me.
I don't either. I've never seen you in such a state, and I pray that I never will again.
I just bit off more than I could chew last night. I promise you, it won't happen again.
What possessed you to go out and get so drunk anyway?
I decided to stop taking the soporific. It was interfering with my ability to focus on cases. I thought perhaps having a drink or two would help me sleep, and I got a bit carried away.
I see. Well, I'm at least glad you've stopped taking that terrible medicine. But trading it for alcohol? This had better really be a one-time occurrence. Anyway, you got another message from Upton. It's there on the table, if you're feeling fit for the world now.
Let's check the newspaper. Anything different? Harris baby found. Suspect in custody. Charles Harris, infant son of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, was kidnapped days ago from his crib at the Harris family manor. Police investigators determined that Linda Walker, a friend of the baby's nanny, was the kidnapper. Walker was arrested in Pierre-Lorraine after fleeing New Britannia with the child. Charles is second in line to inherit the Harris Construction Company, a large contractor in New Britannia currently building the HMS Lenore, the airship intended to replace the fallen area. Erliger, I don't remember how they pronounced it. Chief of Police Reginald Snelling issued the following statement. My detectives should be commended for the outstanding work they did in finding baby Charles and bringing him home to safety. Let this be a lesson to all criminals that New Britannia police always get their suspect. Fordham. A new case has come in, but the police are already investigating. Details have made their way into the newspaper. I won't be able to meet you at Ruins, so here are the details. The deceased is Desiree Lathan. Her apartment is at 840 Right Way. Good luck. So you have to...
Huh.
What does Upton say this time?
That she can't meet me, and that I should go straight to the scene of the crime.
I wonder if that means the police have started to suspect that she's giving you these cases.
She also says news of this case has been made public, and the police are already investigating. That explains the article in the newspaper.
Which one?
The one about Desiree Lathan, the woman who was found burnt to death.
Ugh, that sounds absolutely dreadful. Where's the crime scene?
840 Right Way. It's not too far from here, thankfully.
You're sure you're feeling up to this today?
I'll be fine. The mental exercise will get me back to normal in no time. Well, this is shaping up to be quite the investigation. I should probably get a move on before the police ruin the crime scene any more than they already have.
Good luck, Miles. And stay away from the bars, would you?
Next time I go, I'm only gonna eat the nachos. Desiree Lathan, age 63, was found burned to death in her home yesterday morning. Police were called to the scene by a neighbor who smelled smoke, only to find the grisly scene. Miss Lathan in her bed, body burnt to ashes. The circumstances of Miss Lathan's death are unknown, but the police have not ruled out the possibility of foul play. Lathan was born in New Britannia, the daughter of a wealthy plantation owner. She grew to become one of the most loved and respected of the Gascon grand dames. Although she had many suitors over the years, Lathan never married. An avid reader, writer, and poet, Miss Lathan had several articles published in local newspapers and magazines. Residents of Gascon said they would miss seeing her brightly colored hats and dresses as she walked by. Third mysterious murder has police on edge. Yet another murder in Chumley has the New Britannia police scrambling to quell rumors. Chief of Police Reginald Snelling vehemently denied that there is a mass murderer stalking the shadowy corners of Lamplight City. We have no indication whatsoever that the recent Chumley murders are in any way linked. In any case, detectives are working their hardest to make sure the killer or killers are found and brought to justice, he said. The Gazette has learned that the latest victim is Ennis Bowditch, a construction worker. Police were called to his home where they found him with a single gunshot wound to the head. Despite Chief Snelling's claims to the contrary, the previous two victims have also been men in Chumley who have been killed in exactly the same manner. The Gazette will continue coverage of this story as more details emerge. Prime Minister's campaign heats up as election looms. With election night less than a month away, Prime Minister Herbert Atwood has lashed out against his opponent with full force. My opponent, Mr. Leroy, if elected, will push this country back at least 20 years. Atwood went to describe how Leroy's refusal to acknowledge the existence of aethericity, as well as his lukewarm stance on steam technology, would be detrimental to Vespucius' progress. Leroy, meanwhile, continued to chastise Atwood for his prioritizing machines over humans, saying that if he is re-elected, unemployment rates will skyrocket when the most of the workers are replaced by automated machines. The latest public opinion polls shows Atwood with more comfortable lead. However, many have criticized the polls for not including the majority of the workforce, Leroy's strongest supporters. Whew, that was a lot. Well, I say let's go get this case started. It feels too short to end the video here. So let's just go to the scene of the crime.
I'll be back soon.
I look forward to your return.
Get the ball rolling, and then we'll call it a day. How about that?
Looks as though we've arrived fashionably late.
Excuse me, sir, but this is an active crime scene. We can't allow members of the public.
Oh, this isn't just any member of the public, Kane. This is Miles Fordham. He used to be one of us until he got his partner killed.
Boo!
Wonderful. Officer Parsons is on the scene. It's a shock the apartment isn't in a shambles.
Good day to you too, officers.
Fordham? What are you doing here?
I need a job.
Ah, Captain Snelling. What a pleasure.
That's Chief Snelling now, Fordham. I don't expect you follow the workings of the department much these days, but I'd appreciate the proper address.
So nice to see the power hasn't gone to his head.
My apologies, Chief Snelling.
You haven't answered my question. What in blazes are you doing here?
I read about this case in the paper and thought I'd have a look. I figured investigating the crime would actually give it a chance of being solved. I just dropped by to say hello to my former colleagues. Yeah, I just saw it in the paper.
The story was front page news. I couldn't resist coming to have a look for myself.
There's no respect for police business anymore, damn meddlers. This is an active crime scene, Fordham. Leave the premises immediately.
A minute, Snelling, you need my help. If we work together, we can solve this in no time. You can try to keep me away, but I'm not giving it up. Let's be a little mediator.
We could solve this case in no time if we work together, you know.
We don't need any help.
Just ask for
Not
your
even
job
from former
back.
Detectives. Parsons, I'm going back to the station. I want you to report the minute you're done here. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, don't get any funny ideas, Fordham. If you so much as breathe on anything in here, I'll have you arrested for tampering with a crime scene. Do I make myself clear?
Sure, whatever you say, Chief.
Sure, whatever you say, Chief.
Keep your nose where it belongs, or you'll have me to answer to.
I suppose it's reassuring that even in this crazy, ever-changing world, you can always count on Snelling to be a complete ass.
You heard the chief. No snooping around. The sooner you get out of here, the better for all
Chief's
of us.
just trying to follow protocol. Burning desires, haha. I love a good pun. Desiree Lathan was found burned to ashes under mysterious circumstances. Was it an accident or something more sinister afoot? We have to investigate the apartment, but I don't think they're gonna let me do that. Maybe we can look at things from afar.
An invitation to the Gascon Grand Dame's Ball. It seems it was held 2 nights ago at the Gascon Supper Club. Might be worth looking into, seeing as it's our only lead right now.
Okay, we got a new location to check out.
No title. I doubt it's a diary. People rarely leave those things laying out in the open. Judging by these books, Miss Lathan was quite the fan of poetry.
Parsons, am I right?
Begging your pardon, officer.
Yes, what is it, sir?
How long have you been on the force, officer?
2 months, sir.
And how's it treating you so far?
This is where I was meant to be.
That's good to hear.
Parsons mentioned you used to be a detective?
I was, yes, for 15 years. It wasn't always easy, but I loved every minute of it.
Parsons goes on about how he's got his eye on becoming a detective, but I don't know if I'd be able to handle it.
Is that right?
Yes. He's up for review. I think he's trying to impress Snelling to improve his chances.
Parsons wants to be a detective? Now I've heard it all. As if he needed more of a reason to be Snelling's lapdog.
Nothing more than a routine inspection of the crime scene.
Routine inspection? But the chief of police only goes to extremely high-profile crime scenes.
I couldn't possibly comment on that, sir.
Do you enjoy working with Officer Parsons?
I don't like to talk about my colleagues, sir. Especially when they're standing right over there.
I was just about to say
I understand. Perhaps this isn't the right time to be asking.
I don't want to push the envelope too far, so let's go ahead and end the conversation here.
Thanks for your time, officer.
Not a problem.
You have to hand it to her. Miss Lathan certainly had a unique taste in fashion. I bet you could see her coming a mile away.
It's pretty muted colors.
Definitely too young to be Miss Lathan. Perhaps a relative?
Alright, we don't want to talk to Parsons. He clearly has beef with us, so let's just head out for now.
Well, if no one's cleaned up, you might as well do them the favor.
Does that really count as a clue?
The bridge to Lyon overlooking the House of Parliament. I suppose that seeing that helps the patrons of this club put on airs. That painting depicts a hand dropping a bunch of blood-soaked silver coins into another hand. Definitely sets the bar for the type of people who come here, I'd say.
Sure.
These are all high-end foo-foo liqueurs and cordials. You couldn't pay me to drink that rubbish.
Excuse me, miss?
Oh, well, hello there, handsome. I've never seen you around here before.
Ma'am, I'm
Care
married.
to join me for a drink?
Thank you, but I'm on duty.
On duty? What are you, a cop?
Force of habit. I'm a private investigator, actually.
Oh, not much better, if you ask me.
The name's Miles Fordham, and you are?
Charlotte Robineau.
Pleasure. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I suppose not. It would help pass the time.
Were you here for the Grand Dame's ball the other night?
Of course, we all were. Well, except for Laura. Terrible business.
You mean Laura Dupre?
The very same. Have you met?
I have. In fact, I investigated her attempted murder.
Is that right? I heard she ended up in jail for torturing her servants.
Yes, it was quite disturbing.
I didn't think Laura was capable of such a thing. She always seemed so kind. I guess we all have our dark secrets.
Does that apply to you as well, Miss Robineau?
If I told you, then it would no longer be a secret, would it?
Fair point. Do you know Desiree Lathan?
I knew her, yes.
When did you last speak to her?
Oh, it's been ages. She and I haven't had much to do with each other for a while.
Why is that?
It's really not important. We just didn't see eye to eye on a few things.
Was she at the Grand Dame's ball?
Yes, she was. Drinking up a storm as usual. Desi really knew how to enjoy herself.
How much did she drink?
Oh, I don't know. She used to outmatch me, and I can handle quite a bit.
What can you tell me about Desiree's death?
Just what I've read in the papers. She burned to death. It's horrible. She certainly didn't deserve to die in such a gruesome way.
Did she have any enemies? Anyone who might have wanted to do her harm?
Is this going to play into the spontaneous combustion
Everyone
book
loved
that we
her.
read during
Except
the last
you.
case?
Mr. Fordham, I said we haven't had much to do with each other. That doesn't mean I didn't care for her. Now please, let's drop the subject.
Tell me a little about yourself.
Why, Mr. Fordham, I hardly know you. Well, that said, I'm always open to making new friends.
Ooh, watch out, Miles. I think she's getting ready to pounce.
Do I want to compliment her?
You've really got a great sense of fashion and style. All the other Grand Dames must be jealous.
Oh, you.
I don't feel comfortable continuing this conversation. Let's back out.
Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to your drink.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Can we go anywhere else? Okay, well then in that case, I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I hope to see you next time. Bye!